Hello again. Before we start working on this course and recoloring the illustration that I prepared, we need to clarify some very basic aspects of color theory. So don't worry, this won't be too deep or too boring. We're just going over the basics that you need to understand in order to avoid having problems with your files or with your colors. So the first thing that you need to know is the difference between different color modes. Here is a representation of the entire color spectrum. It contains all the colors that our eyes can see. And this is the portion of the color spectrum that our screens are able to display. You may have noticed that, for example, when you take a photograph of a flower, the colors aren't quite the same as seeing the flower in real life. Well, this is the reason. This color space or color gamut is called RGB, an acronym for red, green, blue. This is the color mode that our screen uses. By mixing red, green, and blue, we obtain all of the other colors. Since this color mode is based on light, if we mix all of the colors, we get a pure white. On the other hand, we have the Cmyk color mode. It contains less visible colors from the whole gamut. It stands for cyan, yellow, magenta, and black, which is represented by the letter K. This one is meant to be used purely for print. So the colors here on the screen are representing a certain amount of ink that will be used on the printing process. Therefore, if we mix all of the colors together, we get a rich black. So this isn't just theory. You have to make a decision before starting to work. Our Adobe Illustrator document will have just one color mode. If your work is meant to be used for print, please use Cmyk, otherwise your colors will be printed incorrectly. If it's meant to be seen only on a screen, switch to RGB, otherwise your colors will look opaque and muddy. Let me show you an example of how an incorrect color choice would look like. This is how an RGB graphic looks converted to Cmyk. And this is how a Cmyk file looks converted to RGB. So always be sure to have this in mind. Choose the document color mode that better suits your needs. And if your design is meant for both print and digital mediums, it's a good idea to have two separate files, one for each. So this is the most common issue, or one of the most common issues that designers face. It's very common to send a file for print that it's on RGB mode, and this, trust me, will ruin your colors. So please have this in mind before starting to work. For the purpose of this tutorial, we'll be working with RGB, since this is a video and you will be watching it on a screen. So let's get to work. See you on the next video.